What a weekend we have in D1A Rugby, and a lot to get to, and not enough time, I don't think. So, a couple of teams playing twice, some top of the rankings matchup. Let's get to it. Trinity Western is based in British Columbia, and maybe, one day get talked into being part of D1A. It might be interesting if we were crossing the borders. Anyway, they did play two games in Arizona. They played Arizona on Saturday. That was a very entertaining game. In fact, I'm going to shut up about it and let Camden McGregor and Seth Catchpole actually do the very good play-by-play that they did. So they'll be talking.
And a great line there by Troy Norman. And an offload off the deck finds Jacob Hall. Go to Cameron Blair. Aiden Kimp with a big carry there. And Arizona once again showing a lot of creativity in this attack. As that ball finds Maddox King out to Troy Norman. Another strong carry there. But this Trinity Western defense is ready to make those tackles. And they've been up to task on those tackles all day.
Absolutely. Making those first-time tackles, Trinity Western been doing a great job with that.
Saxon Gerstle finds Maddox King. Another great tackle there by Trinity. Looking to keep this Wildcat team out from the try zone at the end here. Saxon Gerstle with an awesome little offload. That looked like a little bit forward. Referee disagrees with me, and Troy Norman crosses it down.
And we got a good team try here also by Arizona. It's a good example of what they can do, and they're just looking pretty strong this year. This was kind of a back and forth game. Arizona stayed ahead most of the time, and they didn't really shake the Spartans until late in the game, and they were smart, keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Matteo Berenger doing a couple of penalty goals, and then two tries, I think, later in the second half really put it away. Well, they've got one from Cameron Blair. We don't really actually have footage of that one. And then this one, watch Nick Morgan. He's breaking tackles. He puts on the Jets. This put Arizona really in control, and they ended up winning 49-27. Cal played two games on the weekend. They started with Grand Canyon University, made the trip up to Berkeley, and then on Sunday played UBC. So sort of a younger, less experienced team playing Grand Canyon. It was a fairly comfortable win for Cal, and we'll see them they're playing nicely as a unit. Max Fell links up with flanker Brady Weingart, and out to lock Ryan Marshall, and he charges in. I'll give him a solid 2.8 on that dive. Cal won. I'm actually going to concentrate on GCU here, even though it was a comfortable win for Cal, just because actually. First off, nice set play from the line out, long throw. Jackson Gray coming in, grabs it, goes, beats his man. It's kind of a fun play and well executed. Then have a look at Ben Saunders with the wide kick and the beautiful bounce. Great try there. It ended up 86-21 for Cal. Obviously, they can play in the open field, but some really good moments from GCU, just some things to watch, so saw that. Next day, Cal played UBC. This is a rivalry game. Glad to see that come back, and a different lineup, completely different, more experienced lineup for Cal going into it. This, again, was a challenge for both teams. That's what they're looking for. So UBC, they get a penalty advantage, so they're playing with house money at this point, and they just they set up what looks like a pretty inconsequential ruck, and Joe McNulty just picks it up. Nobody's around him, and he just goes straight through Route 1, scores. So that's a try that keeps it very close. That actually made it 12-8. Cal makes it 15-12 on their side, and then nice work from Joe Kirsten, making some defenders miss, and then they fling the ball around a little bit, and you will see the Cal do that, especially if they've got a penalty advantage. Massey Coy on, I think he was on for Ollie Newell, early substitution, and he's down the sideline. And how about this beautiful cross kick grubber that Solomon Williams chases down? Good vision, and a nice try for Cal. Not that long after the second half started, Cal sends it wide, and Kirsten connects nicely with Max Threlkeld. Kind of became the Max Threlkeld show as he added two more in the next 15 minutes. And even though UBC scores a couple later in the game, at that point Cal has control of this game, and they win it 49-24. Two games this week for UC Santa Barbara. They put their hand up this week, I think. Really just especially on some impressive defensive work. Friday, they played UC Davis, shut them out, and Sunday they defeated Sac State. And have a look at this sequence as we're talking about it. The shutouts are a big deal. It's pretty hard to do, and you can see how UC Santa Barbara pushes Davis back, makes their tackles. Their tackles are strong collisions, and Davis just has to go back up. Even though they do well to retain ball, they can't get territory. The Gauchos are impressive with the ball too, and off the free kick, you get the break. the pass to the open man, and it's as simple as that. Jack Hayes is alert, as always, at scrum half for UC Santa Barbara. Fast forward 2 days later, Gauchos against Sac State. The scrum, led by Bray and DeRuyter, controlled things, I think. Lucas Green scored 3 tries against UC Davis, and this one against Sac State. Strong scrum for Santa Barbara overall. Off he goes. So 57-17 for UCSB, 4-1 in California Conference. Probably third. But, there's a lot of talk now for that Challenger Cup playoff spot. They're doing pretty well. Pretty good back and forth game between Santa Clara and UC Santa Cruz. Check out this W and run from Jarrett Powell-Auden for Santa Clara. UCSC hangs tough, and when Powell-Auden sends his kick, I think he'd want that one back. Andres O'Hara takes it the distance. Pretty nice. It takes a while, but Santa Clara gets this one over in the second half. That's a key one because UCSC comes storming back to make it close, ends up 31-26, but that try put them in control, and it was the game winner. Doubling up also was Grand Canyon. They took on Trinity Western a couple of days after Arizona did. They had to fly back home to do it. The result was a close win for the Spartans, but GCU kept coming back and tied it up a couple of times, and finally this was the clincher for TW, 29-22. In the East, we did get a game. Yes, it was cold, but Penn State has a really nice indoor facility. It's big enough for a rugby game. Worked out quite well, thank you very much. Back and forth game with Mary Washington. We're going to move all the way to late in the game. UMW goes wide. Nice work from Max Plum at number 8. And new UMW mother, Aaron Juma, goes down the sideline. They try to kick ahead. That doesn't come up, but eventually they do score wide after a yellow card for tip tackle against Penn State. And yeah, trust us, they do score in this one. Penn State's maul was working really well, so well, in fact, that they would use it in open play. And this results in a penalty late in the game. What are they going to do? Yeah, you know what they're going to do. They're going to line out, maul, over they go. That's your game winner, 41-34 for Penn State. We had them ranked Penn State one notch ahead of UMW, and so that kind of worked, didn't it? This video is brought to you by Next Phase Rugby, which is an app that allows high school rugby players to connect with college rugby programs around the country. Those programs can be school-supported, club, all kinds of different ones. 450 are already on the app, and thousands of collegiate hopefuls are also on the app. Download the app if you're a college, or if you are a high school player looking for a college, go to nextphaserugby.com. There's a discount code for the premium level for high school players at the bottom of the screen, and good luck with your college search. It's also brought to you by USA Rugby Foundation, which is an organization that supports grassroots rugby around the country, and your donation can help build this great game of ours. Also brought to you by Irish Rugby Tours. Touring is a great way to expose your players to the global nature of rugby. Go to Irish Rugby Tours. They don't just do Ireland. They do all kinds of different countries: Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, South Africa, the UK. That's just a smattering of what they can do for you. Go to irishrugbytours.com. And this video is also brought to you by Panther Rugby Academy, providing elite playing and training opportunities for players throughout the South and a more extended version of the South. Panther Rugby Academy, check them out. And I also want to thank a new kit provider, which is 8x8 Sports. You can't see their logo on this shirt, although you can see it on others, but there's the back of the same shirt because I have more than one. And several other great kit, and we'll be having merchandise available very soon as well, so I'm excited about that. Thanks to 8x8 Sports. It's 8x8sports.com. Okay, now to the 3 biggest games of the weekend. St. Mary's versus BYU, very close, and then not so much late. Dom Bisag cops off some of St. Mary's pressure with a hard run from close in. And then for BYU, Zach Mons shows an impressive sidestepping and dummy, and he goes long range. But as defense is key on B-side at fly half, he starts to distribute more, and here's Mario Storti being the beneficiary. Nice try there. And finally, after being denied a try on a kick pass, Yosefo Toyavo comes off his wing to get this flat pass from Hunter Modlin, and he is in. That was part of a 4-try barrage that took a 32-28 scoreline to 60-28 for St. Mary's. So I think BYU can sit there and, if I'm their coach, I'm saying, hey, you're right there with them. a little fitness, some discipline, and things like that, and maybe a couple of injured players get healthy, we're right there a little bit longer. Central Washington hosted Cal Poly in a game where the snow started just around kickoff, and it kept coming. It got worse as the game went on. So, usually you see a game where there's white on the field, and as the game goes on, it melts away and it's green after. No, it was the opposite on this game. Not a lot of points. Kicking game was huge. Jack Tregoning for Central Washington was very influential on that end. But in the end, the key scores came from the lineout and maul. Cal Poly needed better traction to stop that. You can just imagine them just sliding back in the slush. Wildcats hooker Campbell Robb was 8x8 Sports D1A Player of the Week, and here's why he was in the middle of it all. Popped off the back here and fights his way to the line. They almost score an open play, another one soon after, but Cal Poly holds tough, even if they infringe. They get a little bit of penalty trouble, and now you see how difficult it is to stop that maul in the snow and slush, and they go right over. Cal Poly does get one back. Kobe Baker's having a great season, charge down and try from long range. I would say at a good 9.2 on the dive there. Fun game, and an indication that Cal Poly is inching its way up. However, 20-12, Central Washington takes that one in the snow. And finally, I'll step aside again. Lindenwood versus Life. This rivalry is perhaps too intense to have a free-flowing game at times. It was a crusher, for sure, back and forth. And instead of yapping on about it, I will leave it to Caleb O'Donoghue and Richard Felton to do the play-by-play for our clips.
Chadwick through the hole! Huge! Great! Chadwick's over the line! What an excellent start. Break from Barber. And he's over. The referee has called it a try. Bradley Crane sees a little bit of space. Looks like they have advantage as well. And they're going wide. Oh, it's a bit of a off the side of the boot. They did have an advantage. And there's a double blow of the whistle, Caleb. We always know that's not a good sign. It'll be a yellow card to Declan Rice. Awful look again, yeah. Put the pressure on, keep it on. They've taken it quick! Oh, and he's done it! Bradley Crane! Keeping high IQ play there from Bradley Crane. He saw that the defense was looking for the line. The line's for offside, and he's taken it quick. Oh, and it's McAllister! Unbelievable try from the young lad. They've got an overlap on the edge here. And it looks like it's going to be a try.
Wow, I feel like I was talking really fast. I wanted to get it under time. And 28-24, Life wins that one. Life versus St. Thomas coming up this week. That's a good dress rehearsal for St. Thomas. Just think about D1A for next year. Lindenwood versus Arkansas State. That's another one to keep an eye on. And then Cal versus Navy at Navy. Central Washington versus St. Mary's at St. Mary's. A couple of other huge ones. We will see you next time. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to our Patreon patrons. Thanks to our anonymous patrons. And we'll see you after a great weekend next week.